Starting a new story sounds exciting until it's actually time to do it. Here's how I make it feel less overwhelming and more doable. I'm a couple of months removed from my current work in progress, but starting a brand new story idea is always an exciting time, but it can definitely be an intimidating process as well. In my Discord server, there are writers of all kinds of levels, especially writers who are working on their first story ever. And recently, I've seen the question of how do I come up with my first story idea pop up quite a few times. So I thought, why not make a video on how I turn story ideas into full-fledged books. Now, there's a saying that goes, there's many ways to skin a cat. And I think the same thing applies to writing a book. There's many ways to start a book and there's many ways to get ideas. The following is just my process and you definitely don't have to follow it. But if you've been feeling stuck with your first story idea, maybe this can help a bit. Now, before I get into my process, I want to talk about imposter syndrome a little bit. In a recent vlog that I posted to my channel, I asked my viewers, how do they deal with imposter syndrome as writers? I got some pretty good responses when it comes to dealing with imposter syndrome. I often get imposter syndrome when I'm struggling with a story idea or something in my current work in progress isn't working the way I want it to. I also fall into the trap of comparing myself to other authors and their writing quite often. This also isn't even just confined to writing. I even find myself comparing myself to other YouTubers and other channels and people who have more success than me, and it's a mindset that I need to get myself out of. Writers and creatives are especially susceptible to falling into this comparison trap, especially since no idea is truly unique anymore. In a recent live stream I did, I went over some old work I've done in the past, and we talked about cringing while reading our old work. I recently got a comment regarding that said, cringing is actually a sign of growth. And I wholeheartedly agreed, which leads into my next statement. As writers, we need to reset our mindset when it comes to writing. Writing doesn't always have a linear progression. Sometimes your skill level goes up and then it has a dip, or sometimes it plateaus, or sometimes you can just jump exponentially overnight. Writing is not a linear process. We have to let go of trying to constantly one-up ourselves and our peers and instead focus on writing the best story that we can at that moment. Once we do, the new story ideas will start flowing like a leaky faucet. And soon, we're gonna have more story ideas than we know what to do with. Some things that I've been trying to help reset my writing mindset is journaling, rereading old work to see my progress, and reading inspirational stories from other authors online to get a brand new perspective on things. Another thing that has helped me reframe this starting phase was a class I watched on Skillshare called Creative Writing Bootcamp, Start a Brand New Story. Skillshare is actually the sponsor of this video, so shout out to them for allowing me to teach you guys how to start a brand new story. The class that I've been taking is taught by Mila Goldberg, a best-selling novelist, and really emphasizes getting something on the page without overthinking, which has helped me a ton. All of their classes are taught by amazing creatives with proven track records. They've got professional illustrators, celebrated graphic designers, successful entrepreneurs in any niche that you can think of, and so many more experts on the platform. These experts curate their classes in a way to share their information and try to help you become the best creative that you can be. With the help of the Creative Writing Bootcamp Start a Brand New Story class, I've been able to change my mindset when it comes to free writing new ideas. If you want to check out that class or just Skillshare in general, they're offering a free month trial via the link in my description. You can also use the promo code on screen to get access to that free month. If you've been feeling stuck or overwhelmed with starting something brand new or just want to build up your writing arsenal, I highly recommend checking out Skillshare. Now, let's get back to the video. The class that I've been taking on Skillshare starts off with a wonderful question. Where do ideas come from? Mila Goldberg describes her process as becoming sensitive to pings that catch her attention. And I didn't notice this until I started rewatching the class's videos, but you can actually comment and see other students' comments. And there were a few other good pieces of advice when it comes to recognizing when you've been hit with an idea and what to do next. Some of the comments that I saw were, view the world around you like a small child or a tourist, Interrogate and investigate new ideas whenever you get one, and your lens is the way you view the world, either through your own eyes or someone else's. There were a lot more insightful comments, but these were the ones that stuck out to me the most. Ideas can come at the most random times. They can come while you're taking a shower, while you're on your morning walk, or maybe while you're in a business meeting at work. For me, I tend to get my ideas after watching a good movie, TV show, or after reading a good book. Music with great lyrics and expansive soundscapes also tend to give me really good book ideas. Now, I get new book ideas all the time, but that doesn't mean every new idea is a good one. The ideas that stick around and tend to build upon themselves without doing any real work are usually the ones that I give my time and dedication to. It's up to you as a writer to realize which idea is worth your time and energy. Ideas are kind of like seeds. They need water, sunlight, and love to grow. And this is where brainstorming comes into play. The first thing that I've started doing when it comes to watering a new idea is starting a brand new brain dump document. You can either do this online or in a physical notebook, but you just need a place where you can word vomit without being judged. Write down any and everything. Character ideas, lore tidbits, images about the world whenever you get them, and any other thing that you can think of when it comes to your brand new idea. Write that stuff down and keep track of it. Whatever comes to mind, whether it's good or it's bad, write it down. Brainstorming is kind of like abstract art. Sure, it looks like a mess of brushstrokes now, but eventually it'll turn into a beautiful painting. Or maybe it'll just be a blob of indistinguishable colors. Either way, you did your part during the brainstorming process. Not every idea is meant to turn into a full fleshed out book, but it's up to you to embark on the brainstorming journey and realize which idea really deserves your time. Brainstorming by nature is supposed to be messy. The start of something is rarely ever perfect. Remember how I talked about changing our mindsets earlier? I used to think the beginning of the book had to be absolutely perfect. The first line, the first paragraph, the first chapter. I used to think I had to spend so much time on making that perfect. But now, with the help of the creative writing bootcamp class that I've been taking, I've been focusing on creating a rich world and writing the best story that I can at that particular moment. Speaking of being obsessed over the first line of a new idea, let's talk starting points. Once you've settled on an idea and done enough brainstorming to turn that idea into a sapling, it's time to harvest our first bit of fruit. Is this seed analogy working? When it's time to actually start the book, picking the best starting point is absolutely crucial. You don't want to start too far away from your inciting incident, but you also don't want to start too deep into the action without setting up your characters. Some books do start in media res, and that can work, but it all depends on your specific story idea and your characters. Personally, I like to do a mix of both. For all of my new story ideas, I like to open with an image of my main character. I like to answer the questions of who are they, what are their motivations, and how do they interact with the world around them. Once those things have been established, then we can jump into the brand new world around them if you're writing fantasy or science fiction, or jump straight into the plot if you're writing a more story-focused novel. Your starting point is going to look different for every idea. Should you start 100 years before the collapse of a nation in your book, or should you start during the peasant uprising of that nation? Only you can decide where you should start your brand new story idea. Let your characters, theme, and general plot decide where you should pick up your story and just go from there. Of course, a lot more goes into turning a new story idea into a fully fleshed out book. This is a very nuanced conversation, and if you guys want a part 2 to this video with more tidbits from my Skillshare class that I'm taking, let me know down in the comments and I will definitely make that video. Starting a new idea is hard. I've done it about 11 different times now, but the more that I do it, the more I realize there is no perfect beginning. You just have to begin. Even though I'm hard at work on Anarchist, I'm already thinking about the next idea that I get to build from the ground up. With all of the new tools and information I'm getting, I'm hoping this makes the brainstorming process even easier. Let me know how you come up with ideas and how you flesh them out to turn them into full-fledged stories. Everyone's process is different, so maybe you'll be able to help out your fellow writers in the comments below. And if you struggle with coming up with new ideas, share that struggle down in the comments as well. Maybe myself or someone else can help you come up with a brand new idea. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I've been LDJ, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.